Hey, what's going on? It's time for this art. I went, I'd say a little experimental compared to what I normally do. I thought about, well, first I was going to do just a creature with a big old square missing out of its whole body. Basically just replace the torso with a rectangle with nothing inside of it. And then I thought, maybe I should make it a little more interesting. How do I make something like that more interesting? How about make it like an x-ray machine where it's showing its innards through the square? And then I thought, that's so I just thought of normal human skeleton, and I was like, people have seen that before. It's called an x-ray machine. So instead, I went with some sort of weird screening technology that is effectively showing like what the creature actually is that is hidden as a person. And I thought, that's pretty cool. And I didn't really know what to do for the quote-unquote creature, so I just I winged it. Just like I winged all of this because I couldn't find a reference I liked, so I was just like, who needs it? Haha. So I winged everything. I wish I had a reference for the background though, because it feels lacking to me in the end. So I was going for like a back alley cyberpunky type thing, where maybe they're trying to get into some sort of club or something, but you need to go through this screening to see if you're a person or something else, like a demon, angel, etc. And I ended up going with Nephilim. Not from the Bible, more so from Magic the Gathering. Just because they're kind of goofy and they're all really different. And it's not really related to anything else, to my knowledge. My dog is trying to get in my room. Oh boy. Well, I'm back. I just let out my dog. I have no idea what I was talking about. I'm just making it look like something random, and then I called it a Nephilim. There's the lore on why it ends up being a Nephilim. I really don't know. I guess I'll talk about what I'm doing, because that always works. I'm really just putting things that look interesting to me while being like different enough, because I don't want it to just look like a person like with a reskin, or be like the proportions. I want to be human because I want it to be like, hey, if this person was disguised as a person. That phrasing, I just thought about it and it makes no sense, but if this creature was disguised as a person, it would make sense, proportions wise. And that's really all I was going for. But otherwise, I was trying to really mix it up with like cracks in the flesh and like gnarled skin. And then I also decided to put in these kind of like tubes, flesh tubes, wrapping around and going inside of them. And I also did all those giant spikes. And you may be questioning, how do those weird hip spikes function when they're in human form? And to that I say, I don't know, magic. That's all I got. That's my reason. Feel free to debate me in the comments. I won't actually debate back though, I'll just be like, yep, magic. And I was originally going for the skin color being, like the human skin color being as if it was just skin color and shadows, but then I ended up kind of just making it a darker skin color. And hey, whatever, it happens. Can't plan for everything. I mean, you could, but I don't have that kind of time. I'm just doing the cloth the best I can, clothing, even though you can barely see it. And I did a little funny of making the socks and the shoes the same color. Why? Because I can. It's called style. Not many people understand that. You know, dressing up with clothes that look good together when you could just dress up in one solid color. I'm wearing black pants and a blue shirt, so I can't really say anything though. And now onto this background that I really wish I found a reference for, because I'm just kind of just throwing stuff on there since I wanted it to be like a futuristic-y, sad back alley / cyberpunky. So I tried to make like a little door with wooden boards on it, some weird metal-y pipes, red light above the door, some graffiti, and then the purple is supposed to be some sort of off-screen neon sign or something. Maybe advertising this screening. And I didn't want to put it on screen just because since it's on the edge, I feel like it would take away from what is actually trying to be portrayed just because of how bright it is. I'm now fixing up the hair because I did the thing that I sometimes do where if I put hair over the eye, I kind of just make it go around the whole head, which is not really how hair tends to work. It should just be like a little strip, and then there should be other hair going around the head. So I fix it. I know, super in depth. And I definitely know what I'm talking about. In the eye, I put the reflection of the purple and red light on the sides that they are on. So like the top of the eye is reflecting red, bottom is reflecting that purple. I guess it's more of a magenta. At this point, I'm trying to make the screen more screen-like, rather than just a magical floating box. Even though it still kind of ends up being a magical floating box. But it's held up by cords. For sure. And that's definitely not awkward at all. It's completely practical. If you're some back alley scanning thing, like, you're not going to have a whole magical x-ray setup. You're just going to have, like, parts of it. And the rest is all ramshackle. Okay, to this I'm doing screen effects to make it look more like a digital screen. I spent way too long trying to use a transform layer, which didn't work, because apparently you can't select on a transform layer, which I didn't know about until today. I also added an overlay layer with noise, which I did by just doing overlay, and I used a like perfectly gray color, so it's perfectly in between white and black, so when you overlay it, it doesn't actually change any of the colors. And then I added noise to it. And I did screen tearing just by moving the screen. A big surprise. I did screen tearing by tearing the screen. Incredible. I'm now really focusing on like just adding in all this light from these purples and reds. Just because when you think of a cyberpunk back alleyway, like at least in my mind, it's always like neon lights, bright posters, just lights everywhere. And this one has 2 lights and no posters. Some graffiti though. So I tried to make it a little more interesting, just with the lighting and random gross stains of mysterious origin. And now here's the part where I decided I should, like, you know, make it so the screen has a purpose other than just showing you the body. So I decided that it would give you the result of what the thing it is scanning is. How would it actually do that in real life? I don't know, it's magic. The thing it is scanning is not real, so like, it doesn't have to apply to real life. That's like good enough logic, right? And yep. So there's my attempt at cyberpunky plus magic-y scanning back alleyway something something. Thank you for watching.